Now this is the Maserati MC20. Now MC20 means Maserati Corsa, and this vehicle is the essence of the Maserati brand, bringing the Italian mark back to its roots, back to its racing roots, racing DNA. Now the engine, which is kind of in the mid-rear, is a 3-liter V6. It's a 90-degree V6 producing 630 brake horsepower, 730 Newton meters of torque, and it's paired with an 8-speed double clutch gearbox. Now, it will bolt this vehicle, the fantastic V6, the Nettuno engine as they call it, from 0 to 100 in just 2.9 seconds, which is fantastically fast, and all the way up to a top speed of 325 kilometers an hour. Now, if you look at the car, it's essentially divided into 2 parts. Now, you got the lower bit, which is all about precision, engineering, and the technical brilliance of the engineers over at Maserati. The top bit is considered the more elegant, the more stylish, the more kind of artisanal part of the car, bringing that wonderful Italian flair to life. Now, before we set off, let me tell you a little bit about the interior of the Maserati MC20. Now, as a cabin, it's a nice, bright, airy cabin, plenty of room. Right in front of you, you get a wonderful steering wheel with carbon fiber, Alcantara carbon fiber, start-stop on the left side, launch on the right side, and you've got your cruise control, and then you've got your stereo over here. Of course, you can have a function that tilts the nose up for those tricky bits. This particular car doesn't have it, but I do suggest you get it because the car is extremely low. Right in front of you, you get a great digital cluster that you can fiddle around with. So with the left kind of indicator, you can press it and you get all sorts of information. There's a compass, there is your trip computer. On the right, that's when it gets a little bit more interesting. You get your brake and gas levels, like a little ticker over there. Then you have boost and torque. That's actually very cool. And towards the middle, you get an infotainment system. Now this is actually an infotainment system lifted out of many other kind of Stellantis brands, as a matter of fact. And then let me tell you about the seats. The seats are also wonderful. They are not completely bucket seats, but they are kind of half bucket seats, making them rather comfortable. Of course, your doors are as so. They open up like this. Very cool, but you need about 1 meter next door. Otherwise, you'll hit the car next to you, or somebody parks next to you. You won't be able to get back into your car. They are kind of, you know, electrical, mechanical. There is a button there that pops out, but there is a little emergency release in the back. Apart from that, beautiful interior. Really love it. You know, from the mirror here, you can see the air vents in the back. Just a pleasant cabin to be in. Maybe not as extravagant as some of their direct competitors of the MC20, but still a very nice cabin. This is without a doubt one of the most beautiful, most handsome, most elegantly crafted cars I have ever seen, driven, or been in. Now, without further ado, let me flip the camera around and let's do the GoPro tour. As the beautiful sunshine comes down, this is a great time of filming for me. I always like it. Now, right to the front, you got the Trident over there. Of course, the Maserati logo. And another thing that this car gives homage to, the logo in a way, is the Nettuno, the Neptune engine. But we're gonna get to that in a moment. Beautiful lights, great kind of front splitter for that all-important air. Streamlining rather. Look at that. Some wonderful vents there, real vents. Then you come over here to the side. You've got the carbon ceramic brakes, and if I'm not mistaken, I'll correct it in the video if I am, those are a $10,000 option. You got the beautiful silhouette. Just look at that. Just look at that. That is a true supercar. Beautifully designed, beautifully drawn. Then you've got ample cameras over here. Look at that silhouette. Again, some more air intakes. Let me show you from the side out. Well, we come to the back rather. Here we go, double exhaust. Beautiful rear, kind of lower wing, rear diffuser rather. The car just looks absolutely magnificent, and you got the sun coming down there, even looks better that way. You've got this camera over here because, of course, through this, which is also a $5,000 option that I've read, you can see the beautiful Nettuno engine right in there. I mean, it's quite a soft kind of glass, plexiglass, I guess. So let me open that boot. There we go. And here you go. You got enough space for a carry-on and a little bit more, perhaps. So not too bad for a sports car, for a supercar rather. And you got the beautiful V6 over here, looking magnificent, and I can still feel the heat from it. Just absolutely magnificent. And you've got this special sort of carbon fiber here, and you get more of that over here. The doors open beautifully as well, I gotta tell you. So you got the, you can see the details here. Got special kind of carbon fiber over there, indoor, inside. Let me just show you a little bit here. I'm sure we'll do a more detailed version, but here is the steering wheel, center console, nice bit of carbon fiber inside. Very functional, very no nonsense, beautiful race car like interior, but of course with all the mod coms you could want. There's even heated seats in there. And let me take you around the car a little bit more because that's important. There we go. Of course, it's that time of the year where the weather in Dubai is so beautiful. As a matter of fact, all around here, there's a lot of desert camps being set. So people after work, today is a Friday, by the way, end of the working week, they come over here with their cars, their ice boxes, their food, their beverages, whatever it might be, and they enjoy the beautiful sun that's going down there. Just have a look at that. Absolutely magnificent. And let me just show you the car around one more time. Truly one for the ages. One of the most beautiful cars I've ever seen. Well, here we go. Jebel Chase, bright and early in the morning. Now, I came here at 8 o'clock sharp thinking that it was going to be nice and empty, but it turns out in the winter months, people of the UAE come here for the sunrise. So I've actually got a bunch of cars coming down the mountain while I'm going back up the mountain. Well, that's okay, you know. I thought I was going to have the mountain to myself, but obviously it is one of the most desirable locations over here. But without further ado, what I'm going to do is put it in manual, put it in sport from the middle, drop the gear a little bit, and enjoy the drive and see how the MC20, the Maserati CORSA 20, performs on these beautiful roads. And I can see that there is a lot of people here definitely coming down, but you know, here we go. I just love these roads. They really are one of a kind here in the UAE. And it looks like they're actually enlarging the roads over here. Wow, that acceleration is just beautifully done. It's so smooth. Now there is an 8-speed automatic gearbox, but it's quite an interesting gearbox, I have to say. And I'll tell you why. Because, you see, when you're in GT mode, you can utilize all 8 gears. But when you go to sport mode, you can only have 7 gears. When you're in CORSA mode, that drops down to 6 gears. I guess it's a way of having more out of those gears when you have the more performance-oriented gears intact. Now, I've been driving this car for a couple of days, and I wanted to come to Jebel Jais in particular because I've been trying to put my finger on what is it that I'm not 100% comfortable about, and I think I now know. It's the suspension. The suspension is somewhat not quite there, and I don't want to, talk badly about this car. I think it's a magnificent car, but I think Maserati could have worked a little bit harder on the suspension. And I'll tell you why, because look, here I am on a straight, fantastic, absolutely beautiful, performance when you're driving it. Beautiful, beautiful acceleration. The gearbox is also quite nice. I think in certain cases, even in CORSA, which I am in now, it can be a little bit more snappy. It can be a little bit more quicker. And again, I'm comparing this to the rivals of the MC20 currently on the market. But again, not knocking it. Just an observation right over there, because I do genuinely like this car. But I think there is something between how you feel here in the cabin, how cocooned you are, how the steering is kind of responding to the corners that you're taking, and how the suspension is responding. Because you see, the steering is giving you the feedback that you can really push it hard. But then once you do, you don't feel as comfortable with the suspension. Maybe it's something I need to get used to. Maybe it's something I need to kind of, be a bit more meshed with the car. But it is an important observation that I wanted to make. But apart from that, of course, look at this beautiful performance. I mean, look at this beautiful poise, around the corners when you're not pushing it extremely hard, let's say. It is actually a pleasure to drive. It's just that when you're really right up at the top and you're comparing it to, its closest rivals, maybe a little bit more tuning could be the solution, or maybe it's just Alp getting used to it. Now, here we go. And I particularly wanted to go down the mountain because I want to see how the suspension works with the gearbox and works with the steering, and how it all comes together. And so far, it's coming along very well. It's, now, look, I'm not gonna deny that perhaps the suspension can be improved a little bit. It is a little bit rough around the edges. Perhaps the communication between the messages that the steering gives compared to what the suspension gives are slightly different. While the suspension might be telling you, yes, go ahead, push some more, the steering is probably telling you, no, take it easy, you don't have that much give. Now, that might be something that I, Alp, as a driver, might need to get used to the car, or that might be some constructive criticism for our good friends over at Maserati to kind of fine-tune it a little bit. Whatever it is, though, it's a great drive, and I have really been enjoying it up and down the mighty Jebel Jais. And I always like going downhill as well, because it kind of gives you a great idea great indication of how a car handles and how, like I say, the brake, the gearbox, and the chassis work in harmony together. And I can't think of better roads than this to put it all together. And I gotta say, this is a delight to drive. And the brakes, you gotta be very hard on the brakes, because this does behave like a true sports car. Well, now, as I head back to Dubai to hand this beautiful MC20 back to its rightful owner, Altair Motors, that is, I'm gonna give a last few words. I don't know if they're wise words, but they are my words. Now, the MC20 is a beautiful car on the outside, very functional car on the inside. To drive it is fantastic. Of course, I did talk about a couple of improvements that can be done, possibly, but whatever they may be, they don't take away from the fact that this is the ultimate automobile that has brought Maserati back to its racing pedigree, to its true race pedigree. And of course, it is an MC20. It's a Maserati CORSA 20, and it's a beautiful, beautiful car, very well put together, of course. Nice to drive, a real head turner. I've been driving it for about 4 days now, and a lot of people have given me very, very good looks. Kind of works well for my ego, I gotta say. But all in all, what a fantastic car, and I am sad to give it back. But until next time, now, if you like this video, if you enjoyed it rather, like it, comment, subscribe. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you can be notified for future videos.